The fishing news is brought to you by Shoreline Insurance Agency.
Win the incredible Steigercraft, Evinrude, Lowrance Grand Prize Boat Package, and more in the Fisherman's 2018 Dream Boat Fishing Challenge. Get the details at thefisherman.com.
Gale force winds for the first half of the weekend resulted in nothing in the way of fishing reports since the weekend. Let's see if this upcoming weekend will be any better. So let's check in with News 12 meteorologist Rich Von Olen.
Hey fellow anglers, meteorologist Rich Von Olen here at News 12 Traffic and Weather now, taking a break from News 12 Long Island for a bit, and I'm in the Weather Center and getting ready for hopefully what will be a better fishing weekend here. It's been a really bad month of November. I feel your pain, believe me. I've been trying to get out too, just like you, for blackfish, for bass, and those winds have just been like unrelenting, and it's also been very cold. We had some snow, of course, so let's see if we got some good stuff coming in. I think we do, and this is going to be for, again, Friday, Saturday, maybe Sunday, but I'm not going to be very optimistic. It's going to be another storm coming in, but Friday's the money day. We've been looking at this all week from NOAA. The high is finally going to come in and nudge out the winds and all the gradient here that we've been dealing with that northwest breeze. So that's what we want to see. Notice how it does really overtake the area here. Should be an okay day. A little cloudy on Friday, but fishable. Should be nice. The ocean should be fairly calm. Little disturbance comes in here. This will be for Friday night, but don't worry too much about it. It's very light precipitation, light sprinkles and stuff, and then goes through. Saturday is going to be an okay day. Starting out, should be fine. Little southeast breeze will start to kick in after about 3 or 4 p.m. So the nice window Saturday morning to fish the ocean, and then this whole mess comes in with a pretty big southwesterly breeze going into Sunday. It'll be warmer, but I think the seas will be kind of riled up. So again, Friday, Saturday, the money day is coming up. Hopefully you can get out and enjoy, do some fishing. I will. Enjoy. Good luck.
Remember, be sure to check out News 12 for the latest weather forecast before heading out on the water. The December issue of the Fisherman Magazine is out now. Tony Salerno has an informative read to get you ready for the upcoming cod season, and also check out a great article from Jeffrey Lawrence about party boat ling fishing. These are just few of the great reads in the current issue of the Fisherman Magazine. Now let's get to the reports. It's late in the season, so many of our reporters have finished fishing for the year. So on the east end, this is what we have. The waters south of Block Island continue to yield decent numbers of big sea bass, along with some nice smattering of cod and ling prior to the latest dose of wind. Let's get the latest from the Shinnecock area with Mike Dean.
Hey Tim, thanks. Well, it's been pretty slow out here. It feels like things are kind of wrapping up. The few boats that are still in the water are getting tallied, sea bass, some cod mixed in, the wrecks and the reefs. Still a lot of birds around. There's been some nice bass caught, trolling bunker spoons, mojos, still the occasional diamond jig bites working. Off the beach, it's been pretty tough. That just flurry of small fish that we had mid-November seem to have either moved on. Some resident fish are around a little bit east of Shinnecock. Pre-timing, so you're probably going to get a schoolie or two here or there. So I'm not ready to pack the gear in until I get a few more fish. So it's been a real pleasure doing these reports in case this is the last one. Really love sharing my fishing with everybody, and definitely an honor to be among some of Long Island's best anglers doing these reports. So hopefully until next time, if I don't talk to you guys, great holiday to you, and best for the new year.
Now let's check in with Brendan Rutigliano from Capture Bait and Tackle and Fuel. What do you got, Brendan?
Thanks, Tim. Just wanted to say happy holidays to all of our customers and staff. Thank you very much for a great year. It was awesome for us, and we hope you guys had a great time too. Still some bass on the beach, but we don't have heat in the shop, so we got to close, even though we really wanted to stay open for you guys as long as possible. But we'll see you guys in April, and good luck out there if you're still fishing. If not, have a great holiday season, and relax and rest up, and then we'll see you guys in April. Thank you very much, guys.
And there is no shortage of stripers working their way along the South Shore. There are very few keepers among the hordes of 20 to 26 inch fish. Just how thick are the schools was best demonstrated by fisherman staffer Captain John Ragusa with Captain Mike Modisa and his son Chris on Saturday fishing south of Bellport at the breach in 40 to 45 feet of water. The trio jigged up over 300 bass with just a half dozen keepers to 32 inches in the mix. Same story out of Fire Island. Here's Renee LaRocco with a nice bass she jigged up Saturday morning. Now let's go west and check in with Joey Leggio.
Hey, Tim, thank you very much. Oh, boy, reports. Wow. Things are hard to come by these days. It's really tough to get out there with this wind. I mean, every single day we're having wind 30-plus knots. Even today, 30-plus knots. It's crazy. Lots and lots of trips getting canceled. But when you can get out, there are some fish out there. Did a trip on Monday. Made it for Captain Nick on the no time. We had a real salty crew out. Nick actually told these guys, you probably want to cancel the trip. And they're like, no, we're going. So 6 people on the boat, including a nice young lady who was really good on the rod. She actually outfished the boat, but I didn't say that. Jenna did great, by the way. We had a good time on the boat. We caught up 13 or 14 keeper blackfish and a lot of shorts, and the trip was ended early due to the waves getting bigger. I mean, at one point, we were probably in solid 7-footers, and, Nikki called and said it's time to go. So it was basically a half-day trip, and the guys had some action. Again, biggest one, probably 4.5 pounds. No monsters, but 13 to 14 keepers, which was nice, for getting out there, and the elements that we were in was pretty bad. Other than that, that's basically it. I'm trying to get you the reports, but again, this wind's keeping us back. So hopefully next week we'll have a little something better for you. Until then, talk to you later, Tim. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Now let's check in with Chris Ludwig.
Thank you, Tim. And what's going on, guys? Chris, Coastal Memories Fishing. So the striped bass have been on the sand deal. It's been quite evident. Everybody's been seeing the pictures, been getting out there on the action. Every fish we've caught's been loaded in the belly with sand deals everywhere. Diamond jigs and my crippled herring jigs have been working it for me. I know guys have been using other things. Guys are fishing conventional plugs like bombers and darters and whatnot, but I prefer to stay with the lower profile stuff, especially with what they've been eating. The DOA Terrorize is something I just always use. I know it doesn't look like a sand deal, but it always produces for me. I say the same things a lot, but that's because I fish consistently with the same stuff. That being said, freshwater. This time of year, I'm not really getting away anymore with the soft plastics or the artificials. It's just straight up golden shiners, but you gotta be careful where you fish those things because if they're not from the area, you can get in trouble. Where I'm fishing them, it's perfectly fine. But yeah, largemouth bass, walleye, pickerel, all that, they're live baits. They'll take anything. I hope you guys have been getting out there in that action. Have a good one. Coastal Memories Fishing.
Now let's check in with Luke Feeney.
Not really much to talk about bass-wise. I was down in Breezy the other day on the bay side, further south of Roxbury by the lighthouse, and in between that and Broken Down Pier. And there was some small schoolie bass being caught on all small presentations, all small tins, bucktails, and really small diamond jigs, anything you can throw out there that represents a sand eel. They seem to be hitting it when they're around. You got to get out there on the far cast, on the really high tide. That's when I went. It was really high tide. You got to get out there to a little bit deeper water where those stripers are hanging. But there's not much bird life going on. You just got to know that the sand eels are there. And it hasn't been a really hot bite. Some days have been better than others. You just got to pick your days, and you got to get lucky down there. The black fishing before this cold front was really starting to pick up. All the little local areas have really been slowing down as the season progresses like it usually does, and all those blackfish are moving a little further offshore. I heard reports of mostly dogfish at 17 fathoms so far, so I would concentrate on the areas such as New Bottom, the Mud Buoy, and the Fisherman Buoy before you move out further to 17 in the farms. Try those areas first. As it progresses further into December, areas like 17 fathoms in the farms will become better and better. But the blackfishing was getting really good up until this cold front. Not many guys have been out since this cold front set in. And most of the bass with that dropping water temperature, although it is good for the blackfish, the bass are really starting to move, the big bass at least, are really starting to move further south down into the Chesapeake where they're going to winter. There's not a lot of big bass being caught anymore. There was one body of fish off Jones and Fire Island like last week, and I haven't heard much of guys catching any fish out of there since that cold front moved in. And now from now until the close of the bass season is really the jigging season. Go up into Ambrose on the lumps, go in between the channels, Sandy Hook and Ambrose, and you can find those small fish on the jigs, small schoolie bass to keepers. Not really many big fish around this time of year. You can find the local fish by fishing areas like Jerry's Lump and all those high, shallow areas around the local inlets. That's where you can find those resident fish on the storm sheds. From now really until January, catch and release, it's pretty good. But no more big bass really to talk of around this area. We really saw the best of the bass fishing this season. Get out there and try your luck black fishing as soon as that weather gets nicer. Get out there and enjoy the last of the fall run. That's it for this week. Until next time, tight lines.
Further to the west, we got Mike Mangel.
Thanks, Tim. Hey, fishermen. Well, just got back from the surf. Hit the Jersey Shore this afternoon for a little bit of surf fishing. Figured the wind was going to be coming out the west pretty strong. Gotta say, some gust was up there around 30 knots. So it helped propel the lure, top water, which I was using probably a mile out there. All joking aside, it helped me catch a nice sized bass. Well, with that said, guys, all I have to tell you is dress warm, dress accordingly. Here's about a 19-pound bass. It was weighted with my boga grips. Definitely wear your waders, wear your gloves, get out there. They're still out there. We're going to get some weather in the high 40s for the month of December. We're looking at 65 degrees coming up for, I believe it's this Sunday, if I'm not mistaken. But top water, it was the 6-inch floating tsunami talking popper. That thing is amazing. I mean, you can catch bluefish, false albacore with it, striped bass, amberjacks on the Florida Keys, tarpon, whatever you like. It's an amazing lure. So give that a try. Also, would like to tell you guys, if you have any upcoming shows in Staten Island, Jersey side, or even Long Island, let Tim know. Any flea markets, love to see those flea markets up there. Love to visit them, get some great deals on stuff. Get to talk to our local fishermen and share some, some gear, some news, some reports. So get out there, have some fun, guys. It's been fun so far, not quitting yet.
In the Sound, Captain John Paduano bailed the tug in 40 feet of water out of Montauk last Monday. He returned Saturday to a dead sea, even after probing deeper water structure. Further west, Captain Jimmy Schneider of the Huntington-based James Joseph called the weekend tug action picky. His last trip of the season was yesterday. There's also lots of small stripers working their way west in the Sound, but not a lot of people are fishing for them. Now let's check in with senior editor Fred Golofaro with the latest action on the beach.
Hey, thanks, Tim. And I wish I had some better news, but boy, since last week's cold snap, those couple of nights down into the teens, things have really slowed down. There was still fish around the first half of last week and into Thanksgiving. Had a decent report from Thanksgiving at Robert Moses with some keepers. But I'll tell you, since then, it's been real quiet. I know that those cold nights, they drop that water temperature in the bays and outgoing water, that near shore water temperature drops, and that may be why we're not seeing any fish along the beach. No shortage of fish off the beach. I'll tell you, once you get out to 40, 45 feet of water and beyond 60 feet of water, lots of bass. Fisherman staffer John Ragusa was out in the boat Saturday. He and two other guys, they had over 300 bass in 40, 45 feet of water south of Bellport. So the fish are still around, but they're just offshore. Whether they're going to get back on the beach again, I don't know. I spoke to several tackle shop owners, a couple of guys that have been still pounding the beach, and really didn't get much in the way of reports. Jose over at Salt Waters said since Thanksgiving, he had one guy come in and he had a couple of small fish on Sunday, I believe he said. Yeah, and then Matt over at J&J, he had a guy come in. He had a couple of small fish at Moses on Monday in that east wind. Craig at Smith Point, just one or two small fish scattered along the beach at Smith Point and Fins. And what he did say that was, it used to be encouraging, is that they did have some blueback herring along the beach, caught on teasers. In the past that was a good sign. We looked for that, and usually there was some big bass around, but that hasn't been the case in a long time, and I doubt very much it's going to be the case this year. But like I said, there's still a lot of fish around. They're offshore, so who knows? Stranger things have happened. But it's definitely quieted down a lot.
Just because your boat is out of the water for the season doesn't mean you have to stop fishing. There are some good fishing opportunities all winter long. When the weather cooperates, you can jump on a party boat. So our reports will continue all winter. And if you're starting to think about pickling some herring for the holidays, the first reports of herring are coming from Craig at Smith's Point Bait and Tackle, who saw photos of herring taken on teasers at Fins, Fire Island National Seashore. Nothing yet from any of the other piers on the north or the south shores, but it shouldn't be long from now. Upcoming events. January 20th is the Surfcasters Journal Striper Day, and that's going to be at Ward Melville High School. January 23rd through the 27th is the New York National Boat Show, and that's going to be at the Jacob Javits Center in Manhattan. If you'd like to be part of our weekly video fishing forecast, we are looking for social media savvy anglers for hyperlocal reporting from around the New York Metro and Long Island area. So if you're a captain, a tackle shop, or just an avid angler, contact me at libayrat@gmail.com. For links and more information, be sure to check out our video's description on YouTube. Remember, like our video, subscribe to our YouTube channel, and be a subscriber to the Fisherman Magazine to be part of the Dream Boat Contest. Get out there, catch 'em up. This is Tim C. Smith for thefisherman.com.